Greetings, this is Doc I coming at you live and direct today from Black Facts Headquarters Central. Greetings to one and all at the dawn of a new day. The dawn of a new day. Sometimes our days don't start right at dawn, but they always start, and we will try to not start it with a yawn. How about that? Let's go ahead and do our usual intro, and then we'll get started with our piece today, which is going to be kind of interesting. First and foremost, if you're watching on Facebook, give us a like. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, and then go ahead and spread the word far and wide through the land. Give us a hand in letting folks know about Black Facts on our tubular Black Facts channel. Help other folks to tune in like you. Appreciate that. Now, some people have asked, why is it that we start off each presentation with this little instrument over here? And I answered the question previously, but I'm going to answer it again because I felt that it deserved a shout out during this particular month. And this instrument is called mbira. This one was handmade in Zimbabwe. I did not make this. This is a style of resonator that's made in Zimbabwe. Instead of using a natural product like a gourd, they came up with this way to make a resonator that looks kind of like a guitar. And it's kind of handy because when you want to travel with it, you can use, you need to forge these metal keys with some heat, but you also have to know how to temper the steel so that when the keys are plucked, they resonate with wood, and the resonator helps to make that sound more beautiful. So that is our introduction for today into the sweet science behind mbira. Now, the other part of mbira is the vibration. When we play that instrument, it creates a vibration. So no matter what's going on around us, where we're at in the day, how we're feeling, whether we're up, down, woke up with a frown, a headache on our crown, whatever. Once we play that instrument, it sets the tone for the rest of that piece that we're doing because it puts us in tune. It's like tuning us up. So our bodies, our souls, our spirits, everything here, our whole aura becomes in tune with the instrument and the music. And that's why we play mbira before each one of our presentations. Besides that, it works out nice as a theme song. We've created our own theme song where we don't have to worry about copyright infringement and all those kind of nasty little things. Now, moving right along, our proverb for today is, he knows it like a game of Omweso. He knows it like a game of Omweso. Omweso is, again, for those of you who haven't been with us long, maybe it's your first time seeing our production. Omweso is a game that you play on a board like this one. Although the Omweso board looks much different than this one, you play it with some seeds or beads, little seeds like these, right? And you go around the board, and as you're going around the board, you capture seeds from your opponent. The person that captures the most amount of seeds wins the game. Or if your opponent just can't move anymore, you don't have to capture all the seeds. But if your opponent can no longer move or can no longer capture any other seeds, then the game would be over also. So at any rate, that's the proverb for today. And that was a proverb of the Luganda people of East Africa. Primarily, you'll find them in the country of Uganda. You'll find the Luganda. And let's see. All right. So today we're going to continue on. But today we're going to be we're going to start focusing on black females, particularly those at this point. Today we're going to focus on one who was an aviator. And we're still focused on black scientists, inventors, and healers. So it may seem a little strange to start with an aviator, because you wonder, well, what do aviators have to do with science? But without science and without understanding science, the science of air, aerodynamics, the science of physics, etc., you can't keep your plane in the air. So a lot of science is going on in that airplane. Scientific principles that have to be used as you're trying to navigate and get that plane up in the air and to a particular location and then back down on the ground safely. So we're going to talk about one of the most talked about black women when it comes to aviation ever. And that would be, of course, for those of you who know, that would be Bessie Coleman. Got to make just a slight adjustment here. Not sure why, but I noticed this the other day. Here we go. Okay, see if that, hopefully this will line everything up perfectly again. There we go. Bessie Coleman. And what you're seeing here is a picture of a young girl who portrays Bessie Coleman. Her mother and her did a whole series of videos where they dressed her up as different black women and then did a little short moment in a historical moment with her daughter and their audience on the internet. It's pretty cool. So this is what they came up with. They came up with this series of memes, and hopefully the little girl learned something about these people along the way. We're doing deep dives, trying to dive as deep as we can into some of these people, because a lot of times they kind of get glossed over. And so we're trying to do some deep dives, get a little deeper into our knowledge of who they are. So Bessie Coleman, born 1892, lived until the year 1926. Born in a place called Atlanta, not Georgia, Atlanta, Texas. Yes. Bessie Coleman, first black woman ever to fly an aeroplane. Also, the first African American to ever earn an international pilot's license. Okay, I see I've got to go back and make some adjustments here. There we go. All right. Also, the first African American to earn an international pilot's license. But as a youngster growing up in Waxahachie, Texas, very few people would have thought Bessie would become such an important person. Born in Atlanta, Texas in 1892, she was one of 13 brothers and sisters. When she was 2 years old, her family moved to a small farm near the town of Waxahachie, Texas, about 30 miles south of Dallas. When Bessie was just 9 years old, her father returned to his home state of Oklahoma to seek better employment. Now, Bessie's mother didn't go. She stayed behind in Texas with the children, where she took in laundry and picked cotton to support the family. Bessie was responsible for looking after her younger brothers and sisters. She was an eager student and she excelled in math. After completing the 8th grade, young Bessie found a job as a laundress. She wanted to save enough money to continue her education. In 1910, she enrolled in an Oklahoma preparatory school. But her money ran out, and she was forced to return home. Finally, Bessie tired of her hometown. She decided to join her brother Walter in Chicago. When she was in Chicago, Bessie completed a course in manicuring and began a career as a manicurist. Within a short time, she had earned a reputation as the best and fastest manicurist in Chicago. But Bessie had something quite different on her mind. She wanted to fly airplanes. The mere thought of flying excited Bessie. But during the early 1920s, women pilots were rare, and black women pilots were unheard of. But that didn't stop Bessie. She applied to a number of aviation schools and made every last one of them reject her. A friend suggested she learn French and applied to a school in France. She did, and lo and behold, she got accepted. In 1921, Bessie received her flying license after completing 7 months of instruction and passing a very tough qualifying examination. The determined Bessie was now the first black female pilot ever. From 1922 to 1926, Bessie performed flying exhibitions at air shows. Where was that? Where she executed daredevil maneuvers. Now, when they say daredevil, in this context, they ain't lying. They mean seriously daredevil. That's doing loop-de-loops. That's turning your plane upside down, flying upside down, doing, straight nosedives and pulling out of a nosedive. They did wing walking, parachute jumping. They did crazy stuff back then. And a lot of people were hurt, maimed, or just plain died. But that didn't stop Bessie. She gave lectures on aviation too. She wanted to inspire young African Americans to enter the field of aviation. Unfortunately for her, her career ended with a tragic death. On April 20, 1926, during a practice flight, the aviator, whom many called the world's greatest woman flyer, was killed when she was thrown from her plane. Now, I'm not sure when they started putting seat belts in these airplanes, but I know fairly early on they had included that as a safety device, was a seat belt, because when you go doing loop-de-loops and you're flipping your plane upside down, it might be good to have a belt or something to hold you in to your plane. Yeah, seems like that could be kind of a good idea, if you know what I mean. So that, in short, that's the short story of Bessie Coleman. And if you were watching on YouTube, then you saw the slides, and you noticed that throughout those slides, you kept seeing you saw images of Bessie with her helmet on and her goggles, but then you also saw images of some of the first black female commercial airline pilots in modern times. And one of them that I was featuring there in that slideshow got her wings right here up the street from my house, only about a mile or two up the road. So again, we are here in Kent, Ohio. the only state in the union that begins with the same letter it ends with. Ohio. And it's a good letter to end with for Ohio, because it seems that by the time you go full circle, looks like you done made yourself an O. Ohio. 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 You know what I mean. All right. So that's the end of our segment for today. We'll be back tomorrow with more Black women of science. And we'll just give a shout out today to Babalao Tunde Ifaponle. And who else is that over there? And Shakila Maharani Abena Nui. I'm not sure how to say that last name. But I see Abena. And Abena, I know Abena. Yep. All right. So peace out to all of you all. Look for us tonight. We'll be Black tonight at 9, of course. And of course, we'll be Black tomorrow at noon. This is Doc Ock at noon and 9, signing off.